Welcome to the Rob and Kale podcast. Rob Sanders.
Clemson is going to kick the shit out of the South Carolina Gamecocks probably for the next 10 years every time they run across each other.
Kale Carolina Jackpot Hall.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are weaker than a plate full of piss.
The Rob and Kale podcast.
Let's go.
I'm not ashamed no more. I want to do the thing that your love never did before.
Anyway, welcome to the program. Carolina Jackpot will be joining us shortly. He's the best damn Gamecock YouTuber on the planet. I got one text from him today, and it was, how in the blank is Clemson a 6? I got nothing, man. I got nothing. So we'll see how that works out for us. We're going to talk about that this evening. We'll give you guys an opportunity to join the show here shortly. Shout out to everybody joining the show already. Already got Baylor Man running his mouth up there saying if the Taters win on Friday, that'll be their last win. All right. Look, I've said forever that Clemson is the shits. So we're playing with house money. It's kind of the way I look at it. Supposedly we got one of the best players we've ever had at Clemson, and he's just not that with it. Let's bring Jackpot. Let's see if Jackpot's going to join us. Hi, Jackpot.
Hi.
Yeah, Jackpot says he's having some internet issues. I'm going to give you a minute.
I'm trying to reset the damn internet at the house because we can't get anything in the back of the fucking house. So I unplugged our damn router, and I've got 4 LAN ports and a WAN port. Well, I think I unplugged it from the, I don't know which port I unplugged it from to plug it back in. So now the fucking TV in here won't work. The internet won't connect to that. It won't connect in the back, and it's just all a fucking big hassle.
All right. Well, no pressure, sir.
I have an instruction manual for the damn thing.
Well, I'm going to minimize you and let you work on that. And when you're ready, let me know.
Thank
that
you.
way, is that all right with you? Or you want us just to watch you fumble with this thing? I don't care.
No, just take me off.
All right. So when you're ready, let me know. But there's Jackpot. Bluegrass Sports Media says it needs to be in a WAN port, and he says he's a network engineer. But I would not buy that by some of the stuff that he's actually said on this show that makes me wonder how he has the ability to breathe. But there you go. All right, there's Jackpot. He'll be here shortly. All right, so here's what we got this evening. We'll look at the brackets. We'll may get some NFL talk in too. The Chicago Bears, I don't know what the hell they're doing. We may get into that. I don't know what the Carolina Panthers are doing. We may get into that. All kind of stuff that we can talk about here on the Rob and Kale show this evening. As always, we appreciate you guys for joining the show. By the way, in the show description is the link for the Callaway's Bracket Challenge. I've already gotten, let's see here. I got a message from the Gnome in Louisiana. He's joining the challenge. I got another message from Gary Thrills Mills. He's joining the challenge. Hey, you got to get into the Callaway's Bracket Challenge. It's $20. Winner gets the pot. It's right there in the show description. Jackpot's been making videos about it. Thanks to Jackpot for doing that. All right, so what a weird way of basketball this week too, where you had, not that Auburn winning the SEC was much of a shock, but North Carolina State winning all those games in one day in a set of a week to win the ACC tournament. Not very often you have an ACC tournament where I think they beat Syracuse, they beat North Carolina, and they beat Duke and Virginia all in the same tournament. That does not happen very often. So a little bit of love there for the Wolfpack as so there's that. Anyway, the link is in the description for the Callaway's Bracket Challenge. If and when you are ready for that, have at it. Also, I want to invite some folks in if you would like to join the show. Put the link over here. Papa B says the ACC was only getting 4 bids, but then they got 5. Yeah. You want to know the crazy thing, though, is that of the 5 teams in the ACC that are there, I think that if you if I don't know who the coaches are, okay, and I just put them on paper, Clemson's probably the second best. I just think Brownell's that shitty, and they'll end up losing. So, all right, let's go to down to the campus of South Carolina. Welcome in, Mr. Gamecock Sporty. What's up, brother?
Hey, how you doing, Rob?
Good, man. What you got for the show this evening?
Quite a few things. I haven't made my bracket yet.
Well, they didn't drop till like 3 hours ago, so you're good to go. Plenty of time to live in a van down by the river when you're living in a van down by the river.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't really looked at the bracket show of the bracket reveal. Hey, what's up, Jackpot? How you doing?
Hey, good evening.
Are you ready to join us, sir? I didn't know. You were sitting there looking all like you were ready to just join the program, so I brought you into the programs. You good to go?
I am.
All right, good. All right, I'm sorry, Gamecock Sporty. What do you got, man?
Yeah, I didn't actually watch the bracket reveal. I wasn't able to. See, the only way I have streaming services, but like I couldn't find it on any of my streaming services. The damn cable in my fucking room don't work, so I've got to rely to that. I've got to rely on that. Usually Hulu to watch all my stuff. But anyways, I'm gonna make my bracket at some point. I'm also wanted to talk a little bit about South Carolina baseball. It's been a major disappointment. I actually went off on one of my videos. Like, I probably should have gone off more because I'm pissed off
I don't see that happening.
at the coaching staff in Kingston. I saw that Jackpot actually commented on it, and like, so yeah.
Well, look, from the outside perspective, Kingston has been the shits. He's just a guy that goes on analytics. What the computer tells him to do, he does. He doesn't trust his gut on anything. They brought in Monty Lee thinking maybe that would help. What they should have done was fire him and hire Monty Lee. You wouldn't be any worse off than you are now. At least you'd have a leg up on recruiting and stuff like that. So I think that's what you should have done, but there would have been people like, now we have Clemson's rejects. And look, Monty Lee's a hell of a coach. He did good stuff at Clemson. He was great at the College of Charleston. So bringing him in there with his in-state recruiting ties makes a lot of sense, but apparently making sense and winning baseball games is not what they want to do at South Carolina anymore.
Yeah, last year when they announced at the end of the season that he was getting a contract extension, nobody really see my hand there. Nobody really said a whole lot about it, and I saw it and I was like, "Well, what the fuck? Why?"
I saw that video from a while back.
He doesn't belong there. He's not worth his shitty resume and his shitty coaching lack of prowess or lack thereof. To me, I don't know how he even got the job. It's terrible. He's worse than Holbrook ever thought about being.
Well, they hired an evaluation team to go out and figure out which guy's supposed to be here, instead of saying, you know what, Coach Tanner, we're going to let your assistant run everything for a couple of days here. You do what you do and find the best baseball man for this university. They didn't do that. That's why they hired that committee like they did with Darren Horn. And, and they didn't take the time to go and actually find somebody that was really, really good. So now they're paying the price for it. And it's sad because, we've used this terminology before. South Carolina is a Corvette of a program in baseball, but they're running like a Pinto on fire right now.
Yeah. They didn't win today, so.
No, congratulations.
Avoided a sweep against a not very good team, in my opinion.
All right. Anyway, you got something on hoops there, Gamecock Sporty?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I watched and saw that NC State won the ACC championship in men's basketball in the tournament. And I saw that we got our ass handed to us by Auburn again, which I honestly saw coming.
I just think that And Jackpot, maybe you can feel the same way too. I think that Auburn's just a tough matchup for you guys.
I agree.
Everything that they do well is what you guys can't defend. There's not a good matchup. You match up better with Tennessee than you do with Auburn.
That's why I like our draw for the tournament, because like if we win our round of 64, 32 and Sweet Six and make it to the Sweet 16, I think we match up against Tennessee if they win all their games.
So you mean, essentially the team who wins the whole thing may not necessarily be the best team. They just may be the team that got the best matchups.
That is true.
That's a fair assessment there. I think that certain teams can, like Auburn has the capability with the pressure that they have, that they could run right through it. They really, really could. But if they have a team that slows them down, like Auburn wants nothing to do with Yale. If they were playing Yale, I watched some of the Yale game today. Yale's just slowly, methodically moving up and down the floor. You can't pressure them. You can't get anything to – Auburn would lose their shit with that. So, I mean, that's the kind of team that could really mess with Auburn. But I don't know. Auburn the whole thing, too. You never know.
Thank God we've got a shot clock now. You don't have any teams that can do the old Dean Smith four corners shit from like 1974.
Yeah.
I watched some videos of that. That had to be a boring time to watch basketball.
Yeah. But, I mean, why? You get up 5-0. Why would you even take another shot? Just throw the ball around.
I mean, teams back then used to beat each other like 30-something to 20-something.
Yeah.
JV girls basketball.
Hey, you got to look at it from this perspective for your Gamecocks, gentlemen. You've got the men and the women in the tournament. I mean, it is huge in Columbia right now. Women are the number one team in the country.
We've also got a professional circus clown as our baseball coach, and we've got a more professional circus clown as our football coach.
Yeah, I was trying to say nice things about your program, and y'all said it. I didn't. So there you go.
Kingston is an OG circus clown. Beamer's kind of new to the big top, but he'll definitely fit right in.
Yeah. I appreciate it, Rob. I really do. I'm glad that we're good at men's basketball and our women's team's taking care of business. So I appreciate that.
Well, I mean, I'll say something else nice. If you lose in the tournament as the women's basketball tournament this year, it is a monumental failure. You are that much better than everybody else. The only team that I think that can beat you is LSU, and you beat them twice. So it'll be hard third time. Yeah. I don't think those other teams that you're playing, y'all are going to roll those bitches right on out of there. I
got to think about it the other night when was the show I wasn't on last week, last Sunday, when they had that brawl or whatever, and that stupid LSU coach was up there giving her spill after the game. You know what? There's kind of a similarity in like interview style between her and Shane Beamer, in that they both like wear their feelings on their sleeve, and they just say outlandish and just stupid things. Now, the only difference between the two is she actually wins. But, I mean, the whole, well, I'm going to tell you what, you don't push no 5'8". Girl. I bet you wouldn't push Angel Reese like that. I mean, it's just something I could see Shane Beamer saying something just really stupid.
Very stupid, yes.
It's emotionally immature. But like I said, she actually wins, he don't. So there's that.
Here's the thing that if I were a reporter, I would have said, Coach, Angel Reese was 10 feet from her. If Angel Reese wanted some, why didn't she step the fuck up and get it? No, I'm serious. She could have stretched her arm out and probably touched Cardozo right there on the spot. Don't give me that shit trying to make out like she's some kind of a tough bitch. There is no woman that plays women's hoops that says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go square up with 6'7" Cardozo. That is the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
That Cardozo girl is actually a member of the bloodline. You just don't know it.
She might be. I mean, she's not that far from. Now, I don't have a problem with what Mulkey said, because and people got, there's like, who was it? Stephen A. Smith. Everybody was like, oh, that's not the way that you should do it. And the way that Dawn Staley handled it was great. Look, Dawn Staley handled it fine. I don't have a problem with what Mulkey said. You know why? Because she said what was from her heart. There was no plastic shit with her. That's the problem now. We got a bunch of, what was it? You call them baby back bitches, Jackpot. That or bitch made bitches.
Bitch made bitch. Yeah.
Bitch made bitches that they just say whatever somebody tells them to do, so that they can just, be politically correct all the time. At least with her, she said how she felt. So I don't have a problem with it. I mean, we're getting to a point now where we're going to have a bunch of vanilla made bitches and no one's going to say anything because everybody's scared they're going to get canceled. And they're just, she's the last of a dying breed. So I don't have a problem with it, but yeehaw. All right. Anyway, anything else there, Gamecock Sporty? How many games your Gamecock's going to win in the tournament, the men?
For the men, I think Oregon looks like a sort of tough first round. I don't know. I think that's who we play first. They're an 11 seed.
Yeah, they're in Oregon. Yeah, you got to go up to Philly, or no, Pittsburgh, and play Oregon. Mm-hmm.
If the United States is shaped like one giant toilet bowl, and if I was going to give it an enema, I'd stick the nozzle right in the middle of Pittsburgh.
It's an old Bret Hart reference.
Exactly. I didn't know if you knew where I got that from.
Yeah.
Let's
Stick
see.
the nozzle in
Akron or
Pittsburgh.
Creighton?
Yeah. So I shared a stat with Jackpot. I shared a stat with Jackpot today about the Gamecocks in Oregon. Of course, it's the return of the Jermaine Cousinard, or as Jackpot said, more like the former team gets a shot at Jermaine because Jermaine played here at South Carolina.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I had no idea what I didn't know whatever happened to him. I mean, I didn't. I don't follow these people really when they like it's not college football. It's not like college football. I mean, you really know who hits the transfer portal. You get all into it or whatever. But with basketball, I mean, the past few years, I mean, we've kind of been in shit. So I really just wasn't watching who left and where they went and all that type of stuff. So I didn't even know he was still playing, to be honest with you.
So Cousinard is kind of the heart and soul of this Oregon team. He averages about 15 and 6. Also gets about 2 steals a game. But a couple of interesting notes here from some stuff that I found out about Oregon. They're second in turnover margin and assist to turnover ratio. They take care of the basketball. So for those of you that don't watch, their backcourt is really good. They're near the bottom of their conference in rebounding. So South Carolina should have an edge there. They have their backcourt, both members of their backcourt average in double figures. And Cousinard's third in the conference in steals. But where South Carolina, in my opinion, has a huge edge is on the rebounding front.
That's what I was about to say.
Have the ability to gang rebound. And if they can do that, then they'll be fine. But don't think that Cousinard couldn't go out there and he could have a game where he could put up 30 and knock South Carolina off. But I think South Carolina, I don't know if the lines are out yet, but I think they should be favored. Would you agree,
They're
Jack?
a 1.5 point favorite.
There you go. So,
Clemson, let's talk about them for a second. They are a 2.5 point underdog as a 6 seed against the 11 seed New Mexico.
I don't.
So 6 seed?
Yeah, Clemson is a 6 seed, and
it's probably because of the wins that y'all had pretty early in the season. Because y'all did beat us, and then y'all beat Alabama.
Look, they beat Alabama on the road. Not very many people
win.
Alabama there. I mentioned this to someone the other day. In Clemson's last 2 games, PJ Hall at 6'11" has 2 total rebounds. 2 total rebounds.
The entire season?
No. For the last 2 games combined, at 6'11", he's got 2 rebounds.
What's his minutes?
He leads the team in fucking minutes, and he's got rebounds.
That's sad.
Sound like he's playing like he's afraid he's going to break a nail or something.
But the games before, he averages a double-double. He averages 20 and 10. I think he's hurt. I'm not making excuses.
He's gotta be.
Either that or they're putting him into a scheme where they've got him shooting more outside shots and nonsense. And this guy is a fucking walking problem right now. And I know people are like, oh, he's your best player. If you're 6'11" and you lead the team in minutes and you go out in 2 games against Wake Forest and Boston College, and you've got 2 rebounds total. I mean,
what did he do against Notre Dame in the loss?
He didn't play very well in that game. I mean, as far as I just look at the rebounding I know that sounds silly, but if you're 6'11" and you're not Dirk Nowitzki, and even Nowitzki would go get rebounds, you know? I'm looking up his stats right now, but it's like, I got to look it up that because Jackpot asked, but the Notre Dame game was interesting. Hold on, let's see here. So we go game by game here. Let's see here. Against Notre Dame, he had 7 boards against Notre Dame. He had 7 against Syracuse, and then the walls fall off. 2 total rebounds against Boston College and Wake Forest, and that's why Clemson lost. So the key to Clemson winning is PJ Hall's got to get rebounds. James with that comment. No, he does, Rob. He's always in foul trouble. Beth says PJ gets in foul trouble too easily as of late. Well, look, let Schiffler, the fucking Screech lookalike, let him get in there and, you know, dust up with folks. But damn, rebound. What the hell? I don't.
Yeah, he needs to be the one drawing the foul or taking the fouls.
Yeah,
I would think.
So there's
he's
that.
not going to get you the points like PJ Hall. Hold on. Bird to Fly says, Jackpot, could this baseball team miss a super regional and Kingston stays? I don't think so. But, I mean, then again, they gave him an extension last year after he lost like almost all of his SEC series. So
he is 1-6 in his last 7 SEC series.
how much does he make a year? I mean, it can't be. I mean,
the buyout. I know that the buyout is 800-something thousand. Like that's it.
So, what do they make, Rob? What do they make? About $500,000 a year or so?
$725 run through the 2027 season. So, oh my God! Look at this. A raise of over 600,000, over the 600,000 annual. So we got $125,000 raise to suck this much asshole.
Yeah, he could. They could. I'm sure they could definitely buy that out. Get rid of him.
Y'all paid 17 to get rid of damn Muschamp. If it's 800,000 to get rid of this guy, what the hell? Because where it's going to start hurting is you got that nice, big, beautiful stadium down there that nobody's going to fucking go to if you're out of the SEC by the end of March.
Well, we saw it that happened a few years ago.
Yeah, nobody showed up. The year they didn't win a series, nobody showed up.
Which year was that?
Oh God, it was like 3 seasons ago, something like that. Was it the season after COVID, Jackpot? I think he didn't win an SEC series.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that. But nobody was there. They were giving away tickets at the freaking everywhere. You could literally walk around Columbia and get tickets because no one gave a shit. I know that sounds silly, but it's just the way that it is. I mean, if you care about Gamecock baseball and you want to get back to where you were, this guy obviously can't do it. You got to find somebody else. I mean, you've given him time.
I know at one time they were giving them away down there at the Bojangles. If you bought, I think it was like an 8-piece or something, They'd give you 2 free tickets to the baseball game, and then it got to where the sales on the 8-piece slowed down, so they just like took them and sat them up on the counter down there and just said, like, put a little sign that said, "I have one."
Wait, are you talking about the Bojangles on Bluff Road?
Yeah.
Well, several of them down there, from what I understand, they were kind of like putting them in the bags. It's like bag stuffers. Here's some baseball ticket. Here, go see Presbyterian. Whoop, bye.
Yeah. I'm
just kidding about that. I don't know.
I mean, I know for sure that they were doing everything they could to get people in there that season because the Gamecocks were that terrible. But they had like top 5 recruiting classes. So according to, if like the roster composite, they had one of the top 10 classes in our top 10 rosters in the country. He obviously isn't developing anybody, So what the fuck are we doing here, gentlemen?
Baylor Man says, "How am I feeling about Oregon, Carolina jackpot?" I'm feeling sorry for them. Feeling sorry for them at this point. They got a long trip.
Yeah, they got to come all the way to Pittsburgh. That's kind of crazy. Clemson gets to play in Memphis. That's not too bad.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
No, the Gamecocks flying to Pittsburgh. That's probably about as long of a flight as it is to Memphis, because Memphis is more out that way, kind of. So, I mean, I know flying to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania from Charlotte takes like an hour. It's not long at all.
No, they'll be all right. I mean, if it would have been a little bit better for South Carolina if they would have fallen into one of those Charlotte regionals, though, where they're up there in Charlotte and they could play there, that would have been all right,
Yeah, well, Tennessee's getting to play in Charlotte.
Good for them.
Well, and that too, they were, I heard some talk over the weekend that maybe they didn't care about that SEC tournament. Maybe they tanked it on purpose so they could get a 2 seed so they could play in Charlotte. I don't necessarily believe that.
I didn't say all of that, but I was on Twisted.
No, I'm not talking about you.
No, I'm just saying I thought that they just wouldn't give a shit. I mean, I was in that realm, and I thought that I think that there's this is a very talented Tennessee team, and someone's going to have to tell, their coach, Rick Barnes, hey, if they don't at least make it to the Elite Eight, I mean, what are we doing here? It's the same theory, I mean, because Connect is a great player, and they seem to have all of it. I mean, literally, they have everything you could possibly want. And if you don't make the Elite Eight with that team, I mean, you're kind of looking around like, all right, we're just going to be happy being in the Elite Eight or happy being in the Sweet 16 each year. I mean, what a mess.
Connect can put up 30 points and then still lose.
Jerry says, have you guys just owned the fact that this is an anti-Tennessee channel and I'm fine with it? No, we're not an anti-Tennessee channel. Would you agree with that, Jackpot?
I gave them all the props in the world a couple of years ago when they were playing Clemson in football.
I just said they have a great team and Dalton Connect's a great player. I don't know how that makes sense.
I don't really have any beef with the Tennessee with the basketball program anyway. I just thought it was crazy when I heard the Sports Talk J video with the notion that, well, Rick Barnes doesn't like the tournament, so I don't know if they put their best foot forward in it. I mean, why would you not? I mean, this is not like the so-called meaningless bowl game. This is your conference championship tournament. Winning the conference championship tournament means something. And I think they would have been a number 1 seed if they had won it.
No, for sure, definitely.
Well, but hey, if you're Florida though, and you didn't play in the final today, you don't lose your starting center to a compound fracture in his leg. Florida's done.
Oh, did you see the still picture of that or the slow motion?
I don't need to see that, Jackpot.
My son sent it to me. There's like a double pane thing of this kid said his lower shin went through and broke his skin, and you see it. And then the other clip was like a slow motion clip of him coming down, and it's like, oh my God! It was like that. Who was that played for the Celtics a few years ago? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was on opening night.
Yeah, I remember it was the kid
Was
that
it
played
Paul
for.
Pierce?
No, it wasn't Pierce. It was the guy who played for Butler, whose name that I can't remember. But I don't need to see all that.
Oh
God,
man,
Jack
God, I didn't
Jr.
sleep
send
good
that
that
to your
night.
dad. Oh Jesus!
I was on vacation. Or it was one of those beach trips we take in October, and I think it was like I think my son sent that one to me too. He's got a thing of sending me slow motion videos of compound fractures. Kevin Ware, yeah,
No, for the Celtics though, it wasn't him. I mean, Kevin Ware was the
no,
Louisville guy. Celtics player. I know his name. He's a good player. Who broke leg? Let me see what Google tells me. Broke his leg. Yeah, Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward. Yeah, that's the one who his leg turned into a question mark too. So
oh, that was gross.
I don't need to see all that. Anyway. All right, so you got your team winning what? 1-2 games there, Sporty?
I would I'm honestly leaning more towards like 2.
2. Well, fair enough, man. Remember, we gave you you are our student representative, so we have comped your entry there. So make sure you get into the Callaway's Bracket Challenge. The link is in the bio.
Gotcha.
Make sure you get in. All right. So the idea is that if you win the bracket challenge, you'll be able to afford something other than ramen noodles. We want you to eat some Spam for fucking March, sir. Get on that.
I don't know, maybe a hot date.
Hot day with you just got to find the right guy. You'll be all right. All right, Sporty, man. I'm picking at you. You have a great night, man. We'll talk.
You too.
Thank you. I've been trying to nail some upsets in these conference tournaments, and I've been doing okay. Yesterday, Friday night I nailed Texas A&M and Kentucky. Then yesterday I nailed UNC, NC State. I also nailed NC State and Duke. What was that, the night before?
Yeah.
Then today, kind of came up short a little bit on the. I had Wisconsin there on the money line against Illinois, and it was nip and tuck the entire way. And then, damn it, they kind of fumbled it away at the end there.
Was a tough game. I was watching some of that too. Yeah, Jackpot's been rolling it in here, brother. You've been doing pretty good.
I really think I think with the college basketball, I just think it's just a little bit easier than the football. Because with the football, I just think there's just too many variables in it. And plus, those lines come out like 5 days ahead of time before the game, and you have so many people manipulate them, and I end up watching listening to so many podcasts and listening to so many YouTube videos on each game and yada yada, and everybody's got a different opinion. And by the time it's time to pick it, your brain's just scrambled. With basketball, you just go in there and pick with your brain. Who looks better, and oftentimes if somebody had a really good game on Wednesday, Saturday they're due for a letdown. It's like that classic scenario.
Right. Someone asked for our Cinderella's Grand Canyon. I watched them play last night in the WAC championship. They got a young man who is going to probably be in the NBA, and they play at a fast pace. They could give someone some serious issues. So I like.
I think James Madison.
You like them?
Yeah, they've got a favorable matchup in the first round as well.
Devin likes McNeese. Yeah.
Yeah, they're really good.
I wouldn't be surprised if something happened, and we're going to end up. It's like the whole thing of chalk makes there. I read something along a couple of years ago. It's like if you go chalk the majority of the time, you're going to beat a good bit of folks in brackets and everything else. I mean, I don't see anybody going toe to toe with Connecticut, to be completely honest with you.
I don't either, but everybody I've picked to cover the spread against them can't do it. St. John's couldn't do it. Then Marquette couldn't do it. It's just it's nuts.
Yeah,
Did you
Well,
see the end of the? Did you see the end? I don't mean to cut you off. The end of the Marquette Villanova game. I think that was Friday night.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I had Villanova covering in that game, and that was complete horseshit because Marquette hit a shot at the buzzer. The kid threw it up with one handed. Did you see? And it left his index finger as the buzzer was sounding. You see the backboard? It was out of his hand, and they waved it off. So the game went to overtime, and they beat him by 7.
Yeah.
So if he had just won the game in regulation, I would have won that bet. Pissed me off.
Brock says as long as South Carolina doesn't play basketball teams from the state of Alabama, they should be fine. Good point. Jay says F basketball. Brother, I know. Yeah, thank you for the super chat, but we'll be in football season here before too long, all right? Because once we wrap this up, we'll be in the middle of spring practice, and we're going to see how that works out, and then we'll have another session of the transfer portal to deal with, and we got all that to look forward to.
I did, if I could switch gears for just a minute here, I did put out a video today about football and the 2024 season. I don't know if you've seen that one or not.
No, go ahead. What you got? I didn't watch that yet.
It's the 2024 season for the Gamecocks. I don't think it's going to be a good season, and I think that a 4-8 record is a real possibility, and that's no cap. I'm being honest there, and I basically I had a lot of comments on this video, and just basically all of them are pretty positive, and a lot of people agree with me. I'm talking about Beamer. I was talking a little bit about the coaching situation, the assistant coaches, and the fact that I don't think that he holds the right people accountable. I think he holds accountable people that he's not going to get pushback from. And one Paul Lemon, 3298, agreed with me in the fact that the matter is that Beamer has no balls. His conduct in press conferences has been piss poor this season, along with the way he handled the Juice Wells situation. I don't know about that. I don't know that I can see where he's coming from there, in that maybe Paul is saying that he probably should have told him, hey, you either play or you're part of this team. Anyway, I did have one here that I was looking for. I know what I'm doing most of the time. I ended up taking my comments away. But anyway, oh yes, at Paul White 8208 says, "What the f would Steve Spurrier do with this schedule? The team had a down year last year. I don't agree with anything you said tonight. He needs another year after this one. If it's still bad, fire him." Okay.
Jay says 4-8. Rest in peace, Beamer. Thank you for the super chat, Jay. Yeah, I don't know. I look, I'll stand by what I said. I don't think you're winning a game in October for the second year in a row.
Well, they only play 3, and I mean, no, they're not. The easiest of those 3, I think South Carolina stands a better chance of winning at Oklahoma than they do at home against Ole Miss. I mean, what do you think of that? I mean,
I think that you're being a very you're being a very fair fan.
I mean, Oklahoma hasn't done anything to impress me. I mean, yeah, they beat Texas last year. Then they also lost to UCF. Yeah, they did that. And they lost to Kansas. They did that too.
In the Shane Beamer era, you've got one really good road win, in my opinion, and that's the Clemson game you won a couple of years ago.
Well, one could argue that win at Kentucky in 2022.
I mean, Kentucky wasn't ranked, were they? Did they finish the season?
Yeah,
okay.
Well, they were ranked at the time.
That's fine. I mean, if you want to go with that, but I'm just saying.
Well, it was an upset. They were underdogs. So.
Right. I mean, but you went into Clemson as a 17-point dog and won. That's something to hang your hat on there.
I don't think they were that much of a dog, were they?
I think they were. Yeah, it was either 14 or 17.
They were coming off that Tennessee win, so I think that kind of skewed it a little bit in our favor. You don't think that win at East Carolina was pretty big?
Shut up.
Parker White, it's good. Boom.
Yeah.
Imagine that having to come down to Parker White beating East Carolina.
The best part about that was Jackpot showing us the parking. Fucking
I was fucking, oh God, that was a game, man. It was like one of those games where like you knew you were going to come back and win. You just knew you were. But it was like, at what point? And I was like, come on, guys. When are we going to start playing football here? And finally they did. But that was way too close for comfort. And yeah.
So I'm going to read Sven's comment here, and then Billy, welcome to the program. But Sven says, guys, South Carolina had one of the hardest schedules for 3 years in a row. Beamer did a good job. South Carolina is not a blue blood who has 70 blue chips like Georgia or Bama. Pump the brakes and leave Beamer alone. Look, as a Clemson fan, give this motherfucker a lifetime contract. Okay? But if we're actually trying to be reasonable here, if he goes 4-8 this year, there's no way they could keep him. No way.
I don't know. He's a Mississippi State fan. He doesn't realize, he might not know the whole backstory. Sir, this team, how many, I couldn't even count the number of players that we had on the injury list last year in the injury tent. But this guy goes out this season and he gets rid of the wide receiver coach, demotes him to coaching tight ends, which whatever. I don't know the whole backstory behind that. I hear there was a lot more behind the scenes as the reason why he got demoted from his job. We fire the running back coach, but I mean, we keep the strength and conditioning coach around whose direct responsibility is to keep these players healthy. But we're keeping him around. That's what I'm talking about as far as staffing and making assistant coaching decisions. He doesn't know what he's doing. Doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, but no, and nobody really, none of these other assistants respect him. I think that's a part of it too.
That's the thing too, and I was saying in that video that with the thing like with the Mike Bobo running off a few years ago, and then the other dude just up and leaving for LSU last year before spring practice, and then you got this Coley guy who just kind of walks out on the job. I mean, in coaching circles, I mean, I just don't hear that happening all that much. And maybe I'm in the blind on that, or I don't pay attention because it don't happen to my team. But it just seems like no one has a problem thumbing their nose at him and giving him the old but like it's like not like if I walk out on you, it's not going to hurt my career.
Yeah, it's really is. Who gives a shit? Do you think anybody's going to come to you and ask you for fucking? You've never been a head coach anywhere. How nobody's going to come to you and be like, "Hey, how was this guy here?" I mean, nobody's going to do that. So I mean,
don't mistake this for this is not a rake him over the coals session, and this is not a I hate Beamer segment. I don't. I want him to be successful. As I've said many times, if in a few years he proves me wrong and I have to eat a plate full of crow, I will eat it, feet, beak, tail, and all. And I'll be happy to. And I'll do it with a smile on my face, as long as I can put some hot sauce on it.
Yeah, I got to have some hot sauce on
Do you
that.
agree? I mean, I don't want him to fail, but I'm just looking at things from a realistic point of view.
Look, yeah, I think that you're right about that, and I think that he if he goes 4-8, he's got to go. I don't give a shit what kind of schedule he's got, because it comes back down to this. And you said this before. One of the smartest things you've ever said. We have a tough schedule every year. It's what a jackpot said that. So if
it's an SEC schedule.
Right,
when you're in the SEC, you cannot beat your chest about playing a tough schedule one minute, and then the next minute turn around and whine about how tough it is.
That's the thing. Jackpot has said that. So you knew coming here what you would have to do. You knew what you were going to have to deal with. So I don't fucking feel sorry for you. I'm not going to feel sorry for you.
Florida's is absolutely horrible this year. Next year, theirs will probably be a lot easier.
I think that I think losing Limbo is something that people are, that's going to hurt you this year, because that guy was a special teams wizard. He really, really was. You may not have that this year. And where that may have gotten you an extra win, you may not have that. So we're going to see. And it's just, it's sad because looking back to even when they got rid, when they hired Muschamp and they should have hired Sean Elliott. I mean, that's how long you've had of just fuckos on this coaching staff. The only term I can use is just fuckos. There's nobody on these coaching staffs you look at and you're like, damn, they're good. Or I want them on my program.
Bobby Bowden at FSU is a genius, wasn't he, for not getting in the SEC?
Yeah. I mean, Bowden didn't want to do that. He's on the record saying that. So.
Oh yeah, it's but I responded to Jackpot's video today. I'm saying 6-6 because I think the transfer portal, he's going to make something out of the transfer portal. South Carolina's got a great transfer portal. I don't know how he couldn't with what's coming in. I think you'll be all right. I think we'll get to 6. I think they'll get to 6.
I think they can win all 3 of those easy games: the Old Dominion, Wofford, and Akron, Vanderbilt. And then you look. I mean, the most realistic ones, they win at Kentucky, and then you look at the rest of this here. It's either, to me, they're not as good as we think they're going to be this year, and they've taken a step back. You either beat Mizzou at home, or you beat Texas A&M at home. Maybe they're not all that great. Which, I mean, I think they may be a little better than some of those jumbo teams were, but I don't see them being world beaters or an outside chance. I'm looking at.
They'll get to 6.
I'm looking at LSU. You got LSU at home, Ole Miss at home. You ain't beating Ole Miss. You're not winning at Alabama. I think there's an outside chance you could knock Oklahoma off on the road just because both of them unfamiliar with each other, and I'm just not that impressed with Oklahoma. I think we could stand a better chance of winning out Oklahoma than beating LSU at home. Maybe.
Yeah. Well,
because I think LSU will be good. Brian Kelly's going to have athletes there. He's lost a lot on the offensive side of the ball, but they're going to reload.
Yeah.
And they'll be okay. I think their defense is going to be improved a lot. And then the Clemson game at the end of the year is still another. That's another one we don't know about.
Well, as a
they had some
fan,
offensive woes last year. Maybe they'll be improved this year offensively, but I don't know.
Well, let me get the positive side on this. All right, let's say that South Carolina comes in. They've got Lenore Sellers at quarterback. They have the option of, doing a read option with a quarterback that can really take off and will run motherfuckers over. Rocket Sanders gets his head out of his ass. The kid from South Carolina State comes in. They've got a hell of a 1-2 punch there at running back. The 3 of those guys rush for 750 apiece. South Carolina's second in the conference in rushing. They do enough passing to keep people honest, and they keep the ball moving so the defense can stay off the field, which makes them a middle of the pack defense, and they go 6-6. Yeah. There you go. There's your positive spin for South Carolina.
You can go ahead and put me on the shelf of accountability. 6-6. 6-6.
We'll put you right over there, the bookshelf of accountability.
And as a Tennessee fan, the 20 years that we suck so bad, well, guess who we play every year since the beginning of time? Florida, Georgia, Alabama. And then you throw in an Auburn when back in those times when they were rolling and stuff, you could count 4 losses before the season even started.
Yeah.
You could count 4 losses, and we still got Georgia and Alabama on the schedule, I think. And it's just, but back to the basketball thing, y'all were talking about the matchups and stuff.
Sure.
Somebody pointed out that Connecticut, their bracket in their region or their side of the bracket, they're playing mostly conference and conference tourney champions. Tell me that ain't. You know what Bobby Hurley said? We don't care. We don't care.
Yeah. Have you watched Connecticut play? They don't care.
They don't
They
care.
don't have the mentality of, oh, we play a tough, but we got tough. Here's their mentality. Fuck it. Bring them. You're
Yep.
not going to beat. Fuck them. Bring them.
And
So
when you start looking at brackets saying, oh, we got a weak bracket and we got a strong bracket and blah, 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 stop it. You have to beat everybody in front of you. My Cinderella team's James Madison for some reason. So, but
yeah, you mean Dan Hurley. Thank you, Gabe Cockshot. Yeah,
yeah.
when you're
Dan
as good
Hurley.
as UConn is,
Did I say Bobby?
Yeah, he played for Duke.
Yeah.
We weren't gonna call you out on it, but hey.
Well, you can go ahead. I'm old. What's the analyst from y'all? Did y'all hear the analyzing of the Oregon USC game? What's his name from Duke? The analyst.
Jay Billis.
Yeah, he had Oregon beaten Duke, South Carolina for some reason.
They're probably still pissed off about 2017.
They won their. I think they won their
They
conference.
won the last Pac-12, but look, maybe he's of the mentality that a lot of folks are. Teams with good, strong backcourts do well in the NCAA tournament. They've got guys that are super, super seniors over there in their backcourt, and maybe that's the logic that he has. I think that South Carolina as a team, I mean, they play really, really well as a team. I haven't watched. I mean, I've watched a couple of Oregon games, but not nearly as much as I've watched South Carolina. I think that South Carolina plays really good team basketball, and I think they can contain that backcourt. But I haven't filled out my bracket yet. See.
Yeah. Well, and on that note, I filled mine out, and I'm in the ESPN Tournament Challenge, and it said create another bracket. Well, the first one I filled out went to y'all, right?
Very good. Right.
The second one is. Y'all don't count the second one. It's the first one, correct?
Well, yeah. I mean, you only paid for one, so it'll be, I guess, the first one.
Right. But it'll show too because I'm in the ESPN Tournament Challenge. For some reason,
I don't know.
One, I made two brackets, so it'll say Billy Cole 1. That's my first entry.
Okay, well, I'll boot the other one then. That's how we do that.
Yeah, out of y'all's bracket, everything. What else?
It's in there. I'm
I've got. Huh?
I'm checking to see it right now. So, but yeah, I mean, you're not going to tell us who you got winning at all, but how far will your Vols go? What do you got for that?
I got them to 8.
To the Elite 8, all right. That's good.
And looking at their region, you know, they get to Purdue and then they lose. They got to get through St. Mary's, which from somebody was pointing out that St. Mary's, the Ziegler kid.
St. Mary's a good defensive team.
Ziegler for Tennessee, his brother plays on the St. Mary's team, so that's an interesting point. And then they got to get past either. Well,
They'll end up playing the Gamecocks if they make it far enough.
They might. And then they got to get past South Carolina, Oregon, Creighton, or Akron. But you know, I got them to 8. We'll see. But if they can't throw it in the ocean like they did the other night, and this crap about them throwing off, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. I made a comment to Sports J. I said, you know what? Up to now, I thought you was a good commentator, but insinuating that Tennessee threw off, they left the starters in the whole game.
Right. If he sat Connect for the last 15 minutes of the second half, I would buy into that.
But he did.
You know, I just don't think that's.
Well, what's unique is the number 1, number 2, and number 3 seed all lost.
You recruit and say, you know what, we play every game to be champions when you're not trying to be the champion of your own fucking conference. That doesn't. I don't buy. I mean, I don't think that it hurt his feelings. But
Rick Barnes isn't that way. I can tell you right now, Rick Barnes is competitive as an X. He did not tell those kids to go out there and just beat the rim up. He did not do that. No. He did not do that.
You know, and Mississippi State, they played like their fucking hair was on fire.
They sure did. And I had the numbers. I think Tennessee shot less than 30% from the field and not even. Oh, man. What was that?
Jeff. Taco Bell?
And then about 25% threes. You can't win games like that. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. So, but even to suggest that's amazing. That's amazing. Like I say, if you can't throw it in the ocean well, anyway, I'll let you guys go. I just wanted to give you a heads up on my entry. It'll be the first one. It'll be the number one. 6 and 6 jackpot. You'll be in the bowl game this fall.
No, we shall see, sir.
All right, later.
See, we're confident. Thank you.
Good night, guys.
Good night. Anyone else who comes in, no more farting in the microphone, please. Thank you in advance. I'm not sure what's going on here. Daniel says Tennessee versus Texas could be epic. Fuck fake UT, go Big Orange. Yeah, that'd be Rick Barnes versus Rick Barnes' former team. Certainly would be interesting there. Rob does all the computer stuff. He runs the StreamYard thing from his. I just stream off of an iPhone or an iPad, and I don't get those issues on my end. So he has to deal with a little bit more hooking up, a little more electronics, a little cables and stuff. So I'm sure he'll be back in here in just a little jiffy. Billy Cole says my money would be on UT. What? Pete says, does anybody want NC State right now? Yeah, no. They're making a Cinderella run, and they seeded them like number 11. I would have thought that they would be seeded higher than that, but if they hadn't won that conference tournament, they probably wouldn't have even gotten in the thing anyway. Can anybody hear me? I'm interested to see how's the job going. It's going. I don't think anyone wants to play Mississippi State, so you can hear me good. Yeah, the slightly used Willie Stretcher says, I miss you. Well, I miss you too. But it's been so long since we've seen each other. I've kind of forgotten your touch and what it feels like.
Are you talking about me? I always go.
No. I was talking to Jackpot slightly used Willie Stretcher over in the comment section.
All right, sorry about that. For some reason, my stuff just went to hell there for a second. I don't know what happened.
Well, there was a big fart and then kind of an explosion.
It wasn't mine.
Or maybe the explosion was. Sometimes the explosion, I think, comes before the fart.
It's very good. All right. So anyway, sorry if we cut Billy off. Didn't mean to do that. All right. Anyway, Daniel says, I don't think anybody wants to play Mississippi State. Daniel's correct. Mississippi State, they fly around, man. They really do.
Brock Lee says, is your food line low staffed? The one over here by my house seems to have enough people. I don't know about all of them, though.
Yeah, so Billy says we can eliminate Billy Cole picks 2. So we'll have to do that here shortly. But yeah. So we're rolling along. Hopefully you'll join the Callaway's Bracket Challenge. The link is in the bio there if you want to join that. And it should be fun, Jackpot. And you want to go on record with how many games South Carolina wins? You got what, 1, 2?
Who's our second round? I haven't. Who's our second round? I can't remember.
I'm looking at it right now. Hold on, let's see here.
Is that Baylor playing somebody? Or no, that's you. That's Clemson's.
That's Clemson. Yeah, I know that you want to watch the Clemson folks because that's important to you. South Carolina. Where is South Carolina?
Creighton. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I think we could beat that. I think at best, I think they make a Sweet 16 because South Carolina matches up better, I think, with Creighton and should beat them.
Well, here's the thing with that. You've got, let's say that you get past Creighton. Down after that, I mean, you've got either Texas, UVA, CSU, Tennessee, or St. Peter's. I mean, you've already beaten Tennessee at their place. Texas isn't special. UVA is hot dog water. Colorado State is decent. I mean, if you made the Sweet 16, I don't see why you couldn't make the Elite Eight. Kansas is a really good team, I think. Gonzaga's really good with that big fool they've got at center. The number 1 seed Purdue, though, until they went, I mean, they lost to a 16 last year, destroying everybody's brackets in like day one. Until they actually win some games, I don't think that they're that good. So why not? South Carolina, I think they could win 3 games at least.
Who did Purdue lose to last year? I can't remember.
It was like, hold on, Purdue 16 seed.
It was somebody.
Yeah, it's like Fairleigh Dickinson.
That's right. Yeah.
Sounds like a women's magazine that's like Cosmopolitan but more ritzy. That's who they lost to.
Mm-hmm.
They got that big 7-foot fucker too, Udi or Ludi or whatever his name is. I watched him play 2 games in the Big Ten tournament. He is just he's just living proof that if you're 7 foot tall, you're just taller than everybody else. He doesn't really impress me at all, to be honest with you. I don't know.
The kid that broke his leg for Florida today, that wasn't the kid that looks like Napoleon Dynamite, was it?
I think so, yes, sir.
Oh, damn.
You want to send him some tots?
What's that?
Want to send him some tots?
Yeah, I do need to send him some tots and some whatever that was, egg sandwich.
It's a tots and what's the other thing? You're eating all of our steak. Don't eat all of our steak.
Yeah. No, they did have a kid. He looked like Napoleon Dynamite, just with without the glasses, and I guess like not as bad of a facial acne and stuff. It's crazy.
And let's make sure we're not making fun of the kid. The kid's fucking. I mean, he was playing his balls off and had a horrible, horrible fracture that Jackpot's son thought it would be fun to send to his dad. Not good, Jackpot. Jr.
Yeah, make me crawl on my skin. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you for that. Jackpot was thinking, I'm going to get a hold of that MFer who. Oh, wait a minute. Who taught you that? Oh, wait a minute. When my kids do something stupid to me like that, I think the same thing. Like, and it's like, I probably taught him that. All right. Anyway, what else did you want to get into this evening, Jackpot? I mean, are you jacked for the tournament here?
I am. I'm excited about it. I don't know what time that game is on Thursday.
It's 4 o'clock on Thursday. Is
4 o'clock?
Yeah, 4 o'clock on Thursday is
okay,
when.
So that's good. I'll be.
When they play. Clemson plays at 3 o'clock on Friday, and the College of Charleston plays Alabama at 7:30 on Friday.
That's another one I would keep an eye on.
Let's make sure we keep our eyes on the 3 Palmetto State teams, and let's put the Cougars in prime time. Not to be morbid, but the Cougars could be the only representative from South Carolina at about 5 o'clock on Friday.
They used to be the shit. If you remember that, I mean,
yeah, they used to be great when they had John Kress and even Coach Scott from Boston College was there. They were good then too. So
yeah, John Kress was good. I mean, so good they named the building after him.
That's a weird place too, because Bill Murray lives down there, and he'll go to games, because he owns the baseball team down there, and
the River Dogs.
Yeah, he owns the River Dogs. Him and one other guy, but he goes to River Dog games, and he goes to College of Charleston games too, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, I'm all about the College of Charleston winning a game. Why not?
Do they still have that Coliseum in North Charleston?
The North Charleston Coliseum, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think that was a real nice venue.
It's cookie cutter.
Yeah, when I was at the Citadel, we played there in basketball. We played College of Charleston there in basketball.
Well, wait a minute. They play in the College of Charleston has their own arena now. They don't play there.
Well, no, they never did. It was never their home arena, but they played that game there because it was, a big game. And I think there was maybe, I don't know, there may have been 5,500 people there, and it was supposed to be. I mean, it was at the Citadel's. The McAllister Fieldhouse held 6,000 people. So
yeah, I've been to games at the Citadel, and I thought it was cool. I thought it was a cool little.
Oh yeah, that place gets loud when it's full. They can be rocking.
Anyway, so I think Clemson will win. I mean, God, it's so hard for me because I think Brunell sucks so much penis. Did I say that out loud? I mean, it's kind of hard for me, but I think Clemson can win one game and then probably lose to Baylor. But I wouldn't be surprised if they won 2 games and lost to Arizona, because I think Arizona's pretty good. So
yeah, that's the thing. All the Clemson fans want him fired, but there's no way that Graham Cracker Neff can, in my opinion, justify letting him go with an NCAA tournament appearance. It's just not happening.
They're not going to let him go, but I'm just saying, as a Clemson fan, we are accepting of this now because there is no building for the future here. You were supposed to be in the NCAA tournament last year with Hall as a junior, and then this was supposed to be Hall's year to come out and fucking be National Player of the Year, or ACC Player of the Year. And it's
in defense of Clemson, you won't hear me say that very often. In defense of Clemson, I think they got hosed last year. I mean, how are you going to put in? They were both on the bubble. How are you going to put NC State in over Clemson when Clemson beat them 3 damn times?
Because when you look at Oliver Purnell, you think nutless. Or not Oliver Purnell. When you think Brad Brownell, you think nutless. I don't know. No. Yeah, Bobby Crimmins did coach at the College of Charleston. Very good, sir. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that was after. Was that
after? It was after Cress.
Was that after he quit or quit Georgia Tech the second time?
Mm-hmm.
Because he quit him. He quit him one time to come. And he coached at South Carolina for a day.
Yeah,
you remember that? What the fuck?
I do remember that. That's why a lot of people don't like Bobby Crimmins. A lot of Gamecock fans are like, because he basically was like, "Yeah, I'm coming." Got here and was like, "Fuck it, I'm leaving."
Yeah, and that was when they fired Steve Newton, and he came and he was supposed to be the savior because he was a South Carolina grad. He played here, and he turns around and goes back down there. But I mean, it ended up working out okay because we got Eddie Fogler, and he had some good teams there. So,
well, there you go with that. I was looking jackpot at the ESPN thing for South Carolina and Oregon really quick here. They give you the little preview here. Let me see here. So the preview it says for, you got Cousinard and Nafale Dante for Oregon. Those are their supposedly 2 top guys with 16 and 15. So they got the backcourt there that's really good. Notable wins. They lost to Alabama by 8. Lost to Utah by 3, lost twice to Arizona, beat Utah by 1, beat Arizona by 8. That's probably their best win of the season. And then they beat the Buffaloes to win the Here's ESPN analysis. Dana Altman is a seasoned coach whose teams peak at the right time. And that's certainly the case this season. After going 7-8 during the final 15 games of the regular season, the Bucks earned the automatic bid by winning the tournament behind the play of Cousinard and Dante. Good, not great on both sides of the ball. The Bucks take care of the basketball, and our team, a team opponents won't want to face in early rounds. That's what they say about the.
So they beat the fighting. They beat the Fighting Dions.
Yep, Fighting Dions to win the Pac-12 tournament. So for South Carolina, they say that South Carolina is a balanced team that takes care of the basketball on the offensive end and knows how to win. Routed off 26 wins this season and avoided long dry spells. If there's an issue, it's their lack of efficiency on the offensive end of the court, which could be a major issue against defensive-minded opponents. The Gamecocks will need their leading scorer, Michi Johnson, to come up big after he went for only 9 points total in 2 SEC games.
They also didn't mention our free throw shooting is abysmal.
Is it that bad? Let me look that stat up, Jackpot. Welcome in right off the quarters there. What you got for the program, buddy?
Lisa says, did Jackpot go to school at Citadel? Yes, I did for 2 years.
Mm-hmm. How are you guys doing tonight?
Man, I'm fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm coming at you live from the District of Columbia. I'm making sure I represent the Gamecocks up here strong. I'm excited for that Oregon match. I hope we go out and slap that punk bitch Cousinard across his fucking face, man. I'm tired. It upset me how y'all saw what he had to say about Paris on his way out, how he wouldn't even take the time to meet with Coach Paris.
I didn't catch that. What do you say?
Yeah, on his when he was transferring out, apparently he's got some quote out. He didn't even take the time to meet with Lamont Paris before he transferred out. Whenever Lamont was brought in.
Well, if I'm Coach Paris, and this is just me, he could have had, in theory, Cousinard and Gigi Jackson on the backcourt last season. You had both of those guys. That might have been something. But I'm also of the mentality of, if you don't want to be here, I don't want to fucking talk to you. Get the hell out of here. You don't want to be here, get the hell on.
I just don't. I just don't understand how people get to that level where they don't even offer the new coach of their university 15 freaking minutes for a meeting before he's just like, oh, I'm gonna go out to freaking Oregon.
That's pretty disrespectful,
right? That's a straight up Mike Bobo move from a student athlete.
Bobo at least met the coach and accepted a job. This was just fuck yeah, I'm out. South Carolina, by the way, was 10th in the conference at 71% from the free throw line. But in fairness, the top team from the conference was Missouri, and they didn't win a damn conference game. So maybe there's something.
Well, if he hadn't hit the bricks and went on down the road and decided and go to Oregon, we probably never would have had a Michi Johnson here. And he really likes being here, apparently. I mean, he's all about he's at baseball games and doing the Spurs up. I mean, he's all about it. So,
well, Michi, I don't
fuck this Gubertard fella.
I don't think Michi ever really fit in at Ohio State. I think he's really found his family here at South Carolina. I mean, to go and have the support of an entire school behind you, it'll definitely turn you on to a school. And I just don't think he really got that level of support out at Ohio State. But
no, he didn't. I was texting with him the other day, and he told me that he never enjoyed being called a suck nut. So,
I mean, who would, man? But I'll tell y'all what. I think the SEC is poised for a deep March run. I don't know if you've given out y'all's favorite picks yet, but I'm thinking about slapping down a little cash on maybe a couple of the SEC teams this year. I think they bring it home. What do y'all think?
I mean, people love Kentucky, I mean, they've got that. They seem to be playing much better basketball right now, but
yeah.
What do you think, Jackpot?
Was he talking about SEC teams?
Yeah. Deep in March.
I'm going Auburn. I don't see anybody stopping them, man.
Well,
I really-
Kentucky, we've already seen how bad Kentucky can look. I think Auburn has had one shitter, right? But apart from that, they've just looked stellar all season
Yeah,
long.
sure. They lost to Florida by like 16. A couple of about a month ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Or no, it was. I think it was actually the game before they beat us by 40. So it would have been back before Valentine's
I
Day.
think it was maybe even Mississippi. I want to say it was Mississippi State, but I could be wrong on that.
Well,
I want,
Auburn, yeah, they did lose to Mississippi State too.
but
Nobody's through a
Auburn.
conference season and win every damn game. I mean, look at North Carolina was right there being a 1 seed. They lost to NC State, a team that wasn't going to make the tournament. I mean, shit happens.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think a little bit more highly of Auburn than I do Kentucky. Because I think Kentucky, you've just seen them really shit the bed a couple of weeks this year, a little bit more than I would.
I don't like Auburn because they seem to be a little bit what's the word? They're just a little bit too in your face and talk a little bit too much shit. But I also have more respect for Auburn than I do Kentucky because I think they turn their game up a notch.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
I think they level up when it's time for the for a big game. I think they're ready for it.
I'll,
Kentucky just lays a giant egg.
the distribution they had in that final South Carolina Auburn game, man, that was. I mean, our boys just couldn't get near them. It didn't matter what defense we threw out there; they were just passing all around us, man.
Yeah, and that number one Q-tip.
Yeah,
I nicknamed him during the live stream. That son of a bitch didn't miss.
no,
Neither did the one with the fro. Donaldson, I think was his name.
yeah, it was just.
Jeez.
If they play like that, I don't know who the hell is going to beat them. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
Granted, you got to show up. That's what really matters is showing up.
That's weird.
Now I haven't really looked ahead too much at the March games. Are there going to be there any of them that you guys highlighted as maybe some potential upsets?
I think that Alabama could get upset. I think Clemson or South Carolina could get upset by either one of those teams they're playing. I mean, who else, Rob? I talked about James Madison, right?
Yeah, you talked about James Madison a little bit. I like who was the other team that I was looking at this and I thought that they could do something. And I think I mentioned them earlier. Was it's like one of the 5-12 matchups or whatever, but they have to play in the first four. Is it Boise State? I think could be decent. I think. Look at my
I'll
stuff
tell
here.
you, this year, especially compared to other years, it just doesn't really seem like there's a true number one team in the country.
Grand Canyon. Oh my God, you haven't watched UConn play then? You don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Watch UConn play, to be quite honest with you.
Okay.
But
So you don't. UConn is the defending national champion. Is worth
I
your time?
watched Houston get their freaking backs blown in the other night by Iowa State. Y'all catch any of that game?
Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah.
I think Kansas could potentially lose in the first round to Samford. They didn't look good at all in their conference tournament. I think one of their better players is hurt too.
Okay.
So that would be kind of an upset.
Greenville regionals this year, by the way. Greenville, Columbia.
What?
Yeah. There's one in Charlotte.
Charlotte.
That's where.
I always tried to talk myself into going out and catching a doubleheader out in Greenville, but damn it, I never could justify it. They never send the freaking elite teams out here, man. But I guess that's what you get.
The Gamecocks played there when we beat Duke. Wasn't that in Greenville, Rob?
Was in Greenville, yes, sir.
And Marquette, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that Final Four run, I was back in Columbia at that point, so I wasn't in the area anyways to begin with. But
It's an hour down the road, sir.
Yeah.
From Green? No, I live outside. Gilbert out in Lexington. It's about closer to 2 hours from me. But
Okay. You might as well be in Alaska.
I'll tell you what, that 8-hour drive up here to DC took a part of my soul, man. I don't know how
Why
you
are
do.
you? Why are you there? Why are you in DC?
I just came out. I've never been.
Sports coverage.
Go out, go enjoy a nice little vacation. Have y'all ever been up here to DC, by the way?
I think I went there with my parents in like 1983.
I'll tell
Seriously, like during the summer, we went up there for a week. But yeah, it's been a long time ago.
It's nice, man. It's a lot it's a way bigger than I thought it was going to be, to be quite honest. It's so spread out.
Why are you in DC? What are you doing up there?
I just brought the old lady out. We went on a little vacation. Neither of us had ever been, and we both are kind of museum buffs. So we figured it'd be
I remember going to the FBI. I think it was like the FBI museum.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
tonight.
went to the Smithsonian. I remember that, but not much else.
Yeah, that's what we'll be doing that tomorrow. I'll tell you what though, there's just so much to do. We should have freaking stayed an extra week, man. There's so much, you'll never see it all, dude, unless you live here. It's insane. But I'll move on a little bit. Get back on the topic.
Have you ever been to New York City before?
No, I haven't. You know what, Jet Punt? This is outside of going to like Atlanta or somewhere pretty regional. This is the first big city I've ever traveled to. We usually go to real small areas or somewhere out in the wilderness.
I don't know. New York City I haven't been. It's been like 3 summers ago was the last time we went there. That place is off the freaking chain. I mean,
Really?
it's just interesting to people watch. Now we spent most of the time in the Manhattan area, so we didn't really get into any of the rougher parts, but you still see some crazy sights up there, and people walking around smoking pot right out in front of you. It's
Hey,
just
that's
different.
special. Now they'll just light up a joint right out in front of the White House. Now, man, the whole city smells like pot.
Hey,
Yeah.
I want to share this with you guys from the post Arkansas game. Khalif Battle was asked a question about what was the difference between Arkansas and South Carolina. His comment was, "It's like a cringeworthy moment. Just watch this and then watch Coach Musselman right next to him and how he's like, oh God, did he really say that? Here, let's check this out really quick here. You'll appreciate this."
One more question.
What impressed South Carolina? Obviously, got in the paint. They're big, strong guys. They look like football players to me. But what were you impressed the most about them today?
That was the difference in the game. I don't think. I think we're just as talented. I think we were just as talented as anybody in the country, but they play together. They were a team out there. They were a team.
Caleb, return to the locker room. Thank you.
Freaking
Musselman,
coach under the bus, man. What the
Look at
hell?
Musselman's like, what the fuck?
He's like, motherfucker, you're running suicides when we get back.
That's the greatest thing ever. Like, we got talent, but they'll play together.
Am I mistaken, or didn't Jadeveon Clowney's cousin play basketball for Arkansas? Or was that old?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that was there was one that played for Alabama.
It was
named Clowney.
Yeah, Noah Clowney. He's in the NBA now, right?
Sure.
Yeah, is he actually his cousin?
Yeah, they're
Because he's from Spartanburg.
Oh, is it really? Yeah,
I believe he went to Dorman. I think.
Okay.
You could check that out and see, but I think he's from Dorman.
I wouldn't put it. I think you might be right, but yeah, I saw an article on it. As a matter of fact, just talking about how just freakishly athletic the entire family is. To have two separate people in two separate professional sports is just wild to me. But
well, I mean, I don't guess Chili Bean's that athletic because he's sitting down there running the smoke shop.
Yeah.
I remember y'all talking about that. Dude runs. Hey, also, Rob, I got a question.
Yeah.
You really think Will Shipley ran a damn 4.4? I'm calling BS on that, man.
I don't know. If he did, great. I mean, I lost my stuff with him when he's sitting here complaining on the sideline and acting like damn. Who was the guy that transferred to Florida State? Jackpot. What was that idiot's name?
Jaheim Bell.
Yeah, he did a Jaheim Bell impression. I have zero top. Don't be damn lighting up the coaching staff, even if you think they're smarter than they are. I mean, he was a good player. Don't get me wrong, but with me, it's like, you know what? You're shitting on the coaching staff, sir, which means that recruits are going to see that, and then we're going to end up being looked at like we're damn South Carolina with no balls Beamer. Don't do that.
Yeah,
son.
then people are not going to have respect for Spiller.
Right. But they don't. And I didn't have respect for Spiller anyway. But now when he's got these kids that are coming off and fucking getting in his face and he's not damn jacking their damn face mask and telling the motherfucker, I'll kill you, which is what he should be doing. And he looks like he has no fucking balls.
You know, you're probably right on, Rob. And I actually I was scrolling through Instagram. It must have been the other day. I saw an interesting comment from a Clemson fan talking about how he doesn't feel like they really have the same caliber of running back that they had when they were successful.
Well, they don't. They had like, I think 6 straight seasons with a 1,000-yard rusher.
Yeah. It was Fred Davis, C.J. Spiller.
Well, they had the kid with the fucking club foot that ran for 1,000 yards. That's the truth. Yeah, but it wasn't Gallman. It was the other kid. I can't remember his name, but he legitimately wasn't McDowell. Now you got me making me looking. Hold on. Feaster? No. Hold on, I'm looking it up right now. Let's see here, because he had like. Oh man, let's see here.
But yeah, basically what the guy was saying was kind of what you were saying. You know, when Clemson was good, they really had that star backfield, and this guy who was coming in, and
maybe it was Gallman, but
it was Gallman.
It had to have been. I think he was.
Gallman had the foot. That's what I think. Anyway, he had a club and still rushed for 1,000 yards. So.
But what do you think about that? Do you think maybe that's somewhere y'all really need to place some focus in on really getting all about there?
We're getting to the point now up at Clemson where we need to get some fucking wide receivers. I think we're fine on the defensive side of the ball. I really do. I think we need to get some wide receivers, and we're spoiled because we had such good quarterbacks for a long time. Now we got a guy that's just an average damn quarterback. I want a quarterback with some nuts. I want a quarterback that's going to walk and look at that Georgia defensive line when we play those fucking leg humpers in fucking 6 months or whenever the hell it is, and tells them, fuck you, fuck your mom. I gave your mom back shots. I want a motherfucker that's like that. That's what we need.
Okay, Klubnik had balls. He had enough balls to call his own play against Miami.
Yeah.
The problem was it blew up in his face, so he looked like an idiot.
Yeah, he looked like an idiot, but I want a guy that has some balls at quarterback. Like Trevor Lawrence looking to the sideline at those pussy Gamecocks when they tried to hit him and fucking throw him out of the game, and he throws a touchdown pass and looks at Will Muschamp and says, fuck your mom. I wipe my dick on her curtains. Yeah, you guys remember that shit. That's the kind of quarterback I want. I want a wide receiver like goddamn.
And then Jake Bentley turned around and wiped his ding-a-ling on Dabo's curtains.
That was not about Jake Bentley. That was about the young man Deebo Samuel. It had nothing to do with Jake Bentley. Jake Bentley.
Somebody had to get him the damn ball, you buffoon.
Jackpot, you could have gotten fucking Deebo Samuel the ball.
Rob, beating
that first touchdown he threw was in a window so damn tight. I don't think anybody could have hit it but Jake Bentley.
Whatever. Bentley's a cunt too. I want someone with balls. That's what I want. I want an offensive line that can block.
I'll say this, Rob. Beating Will Muschamp is like bragging about uppercutting.
I'm not talking about beating Will Muschamp. I'm talking about the fact that he looked at Will Muschamp, who sent his guys out there to try to knock him out of the game, and gave him basically the finger on the field. That's the kind of stuff that I want. We don't have that right now. We don't.
But I back to the running backs, I kind of agreed with him. I think you're overlooking the running back position a little bit. I think Phil Maffa's just as average, if not more average. It is.
We'll find out because Moffa's going to get all the carries this year, and if he can get over fumbling the damn football, or maybe part of the reason that Klubnik has no nuts is because Moffa was blowing blocks and letting people just run at him full score. You're supposed to chip these motherfuckers, dummy. He's in the wrong spot half the time. Now, if you're too goddamn ignorant to pick up a chip block, then you need to sit on the bench too, or transfer to South Carolina. You can go down there and play football.
Also, did you while I'm talking about running backs, did you see there was Kale, you might have seen this. Turbo Mill, that's what they call him in Carolina at the Pro Day. He pretty much was number one in every single running back category. He was number one on 40, number one in bench press. I think he had the highest. He was just an absolute combine warrior. How did that?
Oh, that guy, Dante Miller or something.
Yeah,
the one that transferred from Columbia that never even saw the field.
Yeah, he literally topped every single category at his pro day. How insane is that?
Well, the thing is, see, they're doing all these things. They're running all these metrics and stuff, but there's no defensive lineman coming at them. So that was the problem. I mean, last year, who knows what that running game could have been if they had a C offensive line instead of a D- offensive line. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's really what's been holding us back for, honestly, probably a decade, man. Ever since Spurrier left, we just had a bunch of bitches at O-line.
They haven't blocked anybody since 2013.
No.
You haven't had any linebackers either, though. That's fair to say.
Jones is pretty good. He just set the franchise record for season single tackles in a single season for the Rams, as a matter of fact, this year. Cool. Yeah. He was a pretty good linebacker, Ernest was. But I can kind of agree with that.
Did he graduate? He graduated in what, 2014?
Ernest Jones?
No, he was like I think
he played for Muschamp.
Yeah, I think he was like 2018.
Okay. In 6 years, you haven't had a good linebacker.
You don't like Stone Blanton?
He doesn't play for you anymore.
Stone Blanton not there anymore. Debo Williams is a good player, but I mean he can't do it all himself.
Debo's good, dude. Hadn't Debo got hurt last?
Your face coming on the program asking me about a fucking linebacker who doesn't even play anymore. Get out.
What the fuck? You got caught there, sir. Debo Williams is a good player. I think Mo Caba would be a good player, but he's unfortunately that's another end.
Selling lawnmowers.
He can't. He can't stay healthy.
He needs to stick to selling lawnmowers.
Who? Oh yeah.
His NIL thing was selling lawnmowers.
I know. Yeah, you're right. And
I run out on this Honda lawnmower.
Bell Martin Scott's another guy who came on kind of at the end of the season. He's a decent player.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with what Rob's saying, but I don't think it's been purely mediocre at the linebacker position.
Every time the Gamecock fans hear about Mo Caba or Stone Blanton, they just start singing this song.
Fuck you, bitch. You broke my heart. Fuck your dog. Hope he never comes home. Fuck you, bitch. Hope you wind up alone.
Exactly.
What is he talking about?
Every linebacker, that's how you Gamecock fans think about Stone Blanton's going to be great. He's going to go out there and he's going to play baseball too. Then they fucking suck, and then it's
fuck you, bitch.
That's Jackpot's song. Every time one of these motherfuckers leave.
Fuck you, bitch.
Man, players leave all the time, man. Was that you had your whole secondary left your weekend?
Yeah. That's the point. That's the point.
Higher secondary didn't want to stand bumfuck time.
I can't take you seriously because you came in here throwing players at me. Don't even play for your fucking school anymore.
It's easy to get confused, Rob. I mean, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of people that come, leave. Sometimes you might miss one.
So bring up South Carolina hasn't had a good linebacker, and I mentioned a linebacker that played last year who played well, and just because he's not on the team means he didn't play.
He didn't play well.
He led the team in tackle. He played pretty.
Christ, I don't think he led the team in tackles.
And
I'll have to look at that.
No, Debo Williams did.
Debo Williams led the team in tackles, but Stone Blanton there was a reason he didn't go out there at the start of the season, so there's that. And now he's playing somewhere else. Where's he at now, Jackpot?
I think he's
Mississippi State.
Yeah, East Teboga Community College. Where I don't know where the fuck he is. Where did he go?
Mississippi State.
Power 5 SEC football. I wouldn't call that East Teboga Community College.
Well,
what?
I'll take their linebacking core over yours.
Transferred somewhere like Syracuse or Stanford or SMU.
I'll take their linebacker core at East Teboga Community College with the slapdicks over your linebacking core.
Well, I'll take everybody on offense at East Teboga because they can. I guarantee you give them a Garrett Riley, it's not going to look like the same fucking shitty offense from 2019 that they've been crying about for years.
But Clemson didn't have to score an offensive touchdown to beat you, so I don't really care what you think about our offense.
Hey, you beat a team that didn't make a bowl game. Are you throwing a party about that?
Nope.
Everybody halfway decent.
Look, I'm the most real Clemson fan in the fucking world. I'm not going to sit here and say that we're just this great beacon of hope. No, we weren't very good at all. The fact that we struggled with fucking the Kentucky Blue Balls, folks, bothers me. Absolutely bothers me. So I'm not going to sit here and do that shit. I'm not going to sit here.
Beating Kentucky was an accomplishment. I mean, they had just went out there, their last game of the regular season, and pencil whipped your ACC championship game participant.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and bring up that crap. I think you should. It should be different. But anyway, hey, I've got folks waiting there, buddy. How many games South Carolina got in the tournament? What you got? 1, 2, or 3?
Honestly, I don't see us making a deep run. I think we beat that dog shit out of Oregon, and then I think we lose an absolute stinker the next round, if you want my honest. In the true Gamecock way.
All right, buddy. As always, I appreciate you, man. We'll talk later on.
District of Columbia salutes the Gamecocks tonight, baby. Woo!
Don't get shot up there. Have a good night. Schultz, welcome to the program.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Yeah, so Kale, so about almost 2 weeks ago, I called in Uncle Lou's live stream, and I was asking him about Bobo and how he went from being doing terrible at Auburn and South Carolina, and how all of a sudden he's doing good at Georgia. And he says he has better players, and I bring up the whole thing with Polinsky and starting Colin Hill, and he gives me the 5-star dummy.
Well, respectfully, go ahead, Jackpot. You can handle this. This is your team. Go ahead.
I don't understand. You're talking about how he benched Polinsky and started Colin Hill.
Yeah, and he tells me that 11 touchdowns and 5 picks is not great, but Colin Hill threw for only 6 touchdowns and threw for 6 picks. I don't care what world you're living in. That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible.
It is, but I mean, Polinsky, I don't think that guy's head was ever really in the game. He had some personal problems. We all know why. I just don't. I think that unfortunately the way things unfolded with his family and his life just prevented him from being the player that he could have been. And I think that's why they had Colin Hill in there, because it's probably because his head was screwed on a little straighter. But that's just me. And then Polinsky had gotten hurt the previous year. I don't know how much of that was still lingering around, but
so would Hill.
They really didn't have a lot of good options.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of what you say about Doty, I think he was better than Hill, which again isn't saying much.
Was he playing that season, or
they did throw him in late in the year in 2020? He didn't start for the first half of the year, but I think he would have done well then in 2020 if he had started the whole year, or if he hadn't gotten hurt in 2021. But
yeah, that's right, he did, because when he first got in, he saw some action as a wide receiver.
But They played him at quarterback late in the year, remember?
Mm-hmm.
But although
Yeah,
I
he
don't,
played against Mizzou or somebody, I think.
although now I don't think he's the same as he once was, because I don't think he was automatically terrible when coming in. I just think he caught the worst of luck his first 2 years, but now I don't really think he's the same quarterback now.
No. I mean, I don't know how. I mean, I don't know how much repetition he's taken at quarterback. Like in practice and stuff. Does he even work out with them anymore?
Yeah, I think now they're just going to play him at receiver more.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of do what they did with on Joyner. They're going to have him, kind of do wildcat plays, trick plays. Because I mean, he's an
Mm-hmm.
athletic kid. He's athletic. And plus he's smart. I mean, he's a smart kid, but I don't think there's any way they could play him at quarterback now. I think it's going to be all Lenora Sellers.
Yeah, I think unfortunately he's been underutilized the past few years just by a combination of bad slash changing offensive coordinators, and then the whole thing with Spencer Rattler coming in, which immediately demoted him to the second string. Um, yeah, I think this is a weird timing and unfortunate timing, I guess, on the way a lot of that stuff happened. That he hasn't seen the field as much as maybe he might should have.
Yeah.
Mm.
I tried to tell Lou, well, I was saying about Bobo a second ago, I tried to tell him that he's getting carried by the talent at Georgia because he failed at both Auburn and South Carolina, that Bobo is able to call crappy plays and can get away with it. He can call a 4th-and-1 passing play, but get a 50-yard conversion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how about? I mean, I agree with Bobo. Never had at Auburn or at South Carolina an offensive line the caliber of Georgia's backups. So I'll go with you on that. But
with me or with Lou?
Well, you said it was the better player thing, right? That's what you said.
Yeah, but he's still not a good coordinator.
Well, Bobo has had
what I was saying.
Seasons. No, Bobo has had seasons where he's been pretty good. I mean, he hasn't been the shits he's had seasons where they've played pretty good football, but with what he took at South Carolina, I mean, he had some what was it? They weren't overly terrible. Would you agree, Jackpot? I mean,
we had a 1,000-yard rusher. If you remember, Kevin Harris led the SEC in
led the SEC in rushing. So I mean, they weren't like over the top horrible with him there. But I wouldn't want him coaching my guys. But
that team, that COVID year team, the problem with that one, that was more defensive struggles with that team than anything, which was mind blowing because you had J.C. Horn and Mukwamu both on that
Zach
team.
Pickens too.
Yeah, who both ended up in the league. But I mean, what you're down there? How much did we give up? Like 59 points to Ole Miss in the final game. That Muschamp coach, you remember Lane Kiffin throwing his flipboard up in the air?
Yeah, it was like back and forth, and then Ole Miss just split away. Away and became a blowout.
Yeah, it was just disgusting. And then everybody quit after. You remember all of them opted out.
Oh yeah, they all opted out. Horn, Mukwamu.
Yeah,
they all opted out after Muschamp got fired. I remember I gave him heat at the time, but looking back, to be honest, I don't know if I blame him with all these players that are getting hurt. Because you remember what happened to Shi Smith the very next game? We praised him for not opting out, and then he got hurt the very next game. He was out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, well, I didn't really like it because
I didn't either at the time.
Well, I didn't like it because they knew if they all quit that the team was going to be the shits. Not that it wasn't already the shits to begin with, but they knew that. I mean, there wasn't a chance they were going to win another game.
Fair point.
Which I think was kind of selfish.
But, yeah, fair point. You got a good point with that. But so, how far do you think we are going to get in the tournament?
We've already talked about that. I mean,
I know, but I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't hear that part. Or I heard what
I think if they make it, the Sweet 16, they'll be doing good. But I don't think that they're not going to go on a run like they did under Frank Martin. But
yeah, I highly doubt that.
the shaft jackpot. I mean, you can make an argument. Look, hey, they had a hell of a season. They end up playing as the 6th seed. They play the Pac-12 champion. I mean, they didn't get an absolute easy draw either. You know.
Yeah. Did Clemson get in, Rob? I didn't see. Did they get in?
They play Mexico State. So look at the other 6 matchups here. BYU gets Duquesne. Texas Tech got NC State, which won the ACC tournament. So there's that. And then the other one is Clemson getting New Mexico. So, I mean, maybe that's where you play I don't know. You can make an argument that they kind of got the shaft there, I guess.
Yeah,
but.
maybe we'll run into you guys.
Is the number 11 seed like where they put teams that win conference tournaments that really weren't supposed to win them, like NC State and Oregon are both 11 seeds?
Well, in New Mexico State wasn't really supposed to win wasn't supposed to win the Mountain West. I mean, they were one of the better teams. They were like the 3 or 4 seed in that tournament, I believe. So,
I mean, you would have thought Arizona would have been winning the Pac-12.
Yeah, but they didn't. So there's that.
And at North Carolina or Duke would have won that. Yeah, so it's weird.
Yeah. I've been talking trash to North Carolina fans, telling them we're gonna see him in the tournament. I don't know if that's actually gonna happen or not, but I've just been fooling around with them. I tell you, I don't get what's with those guys. We seem to live in their head rent free, to be honest.
I don't know. I mean, they I don't know in North Carolina. I mean, you wouldn't play North Carolina unless you met them in the championship game. So that's the only way you'll meet North Carolina. So that's kind of funny too. But
and I didn't really think we would. I was just saying that just kind of get under their skin, just trolling with them, really.
Cool. All right, Schultz, man, you have a great day, man. We appreciate you.
You too.
Thank you.
All right, Jackpot, let's make this our final call. Justin joins the program. What's up, friend?
How you doing, guys?
Good.
Well, I went to the watch party today at Carolina Lifeway. It was a lot of people at Carolina Jackpot.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of Gamecock fans.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we got
that's a different kind of event to attend for sure.
Oh yeah. I had a good time, and we might face our Presbyterian or some other school. Can't remember the other school's name.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't looked at the women's bracket yet, but yeah, I mean, South Carolina will be hosting, I guess, until it's time to, I guess, whatever. I mean, so they've got who is this? I'm trying to figure out who this is. I don't even know. See, SHU?
Yeah, I think that's the one, but it's Hoppin. That's that name.
And Presbyterian, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sacred Heart?
Yeah, that's the one, Sacred Heart, yeah.
Yeah, so they're going to play either a romance novel or the Blue Hose. That's what they got. So, on Staley by 70.
A romance novel.
Yeah.
Sacred Heart sounds like a romance novel, doesn't it?
Well, that'd go hand in hand, wouldn't it? If you had a romance novel, you might have a pair of blue hose laying on the floor beside the bed.
Oh, yeah.
Hose. They have North Carolina. Who's the 2 seed in their bracket? The 2 seed is Notre Dame. Notre Dame's got that one young lady that's really solid.
Oh, yeah.
Today. So I want to see where LSU ended up, because that's the only team that I think can match wits with South Carolina, because they'll slap the hell out of somebody. They don't give a shit. I'm looking to see where LSU is. They're not a 2 seed. I guess LSU's a 3 seed. Is that what I'm seeing here? I don't know. When would they play? Oh, LSU's a 3 seed on the other side of the bracket, so they would meet in the Final Four.
Oh, wow.
But for that to happen, LSU's got to win their regional over Iowa with Caitlin Clark. And then apparently UCLA is really good too. I haven't watched any UCLA women's hoops. But
LSU's got Caitlin Clark in their regional.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
the 3 seed, and then Iowa's playing either HC or UTM. I don't know who that is.
Houston
Who is
Christian?
Okay, maybe, possibly.
UTM, is that you Tennessee Martin?
Possible Bearcats.
Oh wow.
Possible Eagles.
possible. I don't know who the hell they are.
Hey,
Well, they put things on there, and it's like, they're just gonna stomp them fools.
hey, wow.
Holy cross.
Hey, wow. I think we might get another soccer LSU matchup. You think?
What's that, buddy?
I think we'll get another Carolina LSU matchup again. What do you think?
I don't know, man. We'll have to see. I don't see Don Staley's team being challenged until they play LSU.
Yeah.
And then I'd like to see them play against Iowa's Caitlin Clark. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
That would be kind of interesting. But other than that, I mean, I don't think anybody's beating South Carolina. I really don't.
Yeah, me neither. Why? I don't want to see LSU get. The only thing I want to see is Carolina versus Iowa again. In that championship.
That's true, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, you be a good and tell your mom we said hello. All right. You have a good week.
You too. If I go, I saw guys soccer in the East. They told me it's been like 7 years.
Yeah.
First time in 7 years. They need to make it special.
I know, but we're about to go so far, but we're not going to go all the way because we're gonna see Steve face a tough team, Carolina jackpot.
But
yeah, I don't think they'll make it out of the round of 16 if they do. Even make it that far.
Before though, no one thought you were winning that game against. People thought you had Marquette in that Final Four run, right? Wasn't that the first round matchup?
Mm-hmm.
Jack, remember, people thought you were going to lose that one, including this motherfucker right here. And I thought y'all were going to lose that one. Y'all won that one. Then they're not going to be.
Yeah, we showed your ass.
Oh yeah.
You were fine until Thornwell got the flu and you had to play that damn Sasquatch.
Because
that guy, he's probably out there chopping down a redwood tree somewhere.
He's sitting in a bar somewhere talking about how that guy had the flu and I ran all over him. Look at me and my Sasquatch wife too.
Yeah. Well, guys,
that's it.
Yeah, take care, guys. Go get cuts. Carolina jackpot. Stay positive, man.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Big Barney Ross, take us home.
Hey, it's Big Barney Ross. Well, Calipari got paid $10 million to go out there and lose the first round. Rick Barnes has been paid a whole lot of money. He's been there long enough, and he's just not going to get it done. South Carolina just paid their head coach a whole bunch of money. You think you're going to have buyer's remorse like the Kentucky fans? I'll get off here and listen to what you got to say about that.
It is interesting. He gets his raise, and then y'all shit the bed, jackpot.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they shit the bed against them earlier in the season. I don't take a lot away from that one. No, I think he's definitely going to be worth it. I mean, he's a calming presence. I mean, I don't know. The demeanor just seems so much. It just seems so much more different than some of the other coaches that we've had at South Carolina. Not just in basketball. I'm talking about in a lot of sports in general. Just seems a lot more mature and professional.
It just seems stable. Like he's not.
Yes.
All right. It just feels like, all right, we're building, we're doing what we got to do, but he's not feeding you any bullshit. You watch his press conference, none of this, we won more games and blah, blah, blah. He doesn't do any of that shit.
Exactly right. He doesn't bring up, he's not the Will Muschamp. Well, we won more games our first 3 years here than anybody. So, and that includes a list of some pretty profound people. Whoa.
Anyway. Got it. Not that clown. All right, jackpot. We'll have a full look at the brackets on Wednesday night. Make sure you get in the Callaway's bracket challenge. And you guys have a great evening.
Have a good one.